Hi team, so I think we can go and start the session. Let me share my screen. So yesterday, right, we are seeing that okay, how we can go and do the list and how we can do the other things, right? So today we'll see that okay, how we can go and read that file. So yesterday we are able to see that okay, can do the move and all. Let me just give me 1 second. So we'll go and make a clone of the our initial application. This was our initial. We can make a clone. We'll see download thing. We can go and put into our package and clone. Let me use that NSCP. So this is our folder, right? So here we are able to see yesterday that okay, how we can go and create files and all right. We are able to move, delete and all right. So today we'll see that okay, how we can go and download that file, right? So for example, I will go and use this file only. And what is the meaning of the download, right? So this is the file what we have right here. So we can come into this one. And here, right, we will go and change that operation. So instead of move operation, right, what we need to do, right, we will go and use a download option. So we can say download file, right? So when we download the file, right, if you see, right, there are two things, right? Transfer mode, right? Binary data or ASCII data, right? So in which format it is, right? So we can go and use that one, right? If suppose we just have a content, right, we can go with the binary. If suppose we have some special characters and all right, so we can go with the ASCII, right? Then from where we need to read that file, right? So if you see input directory and file name, right? And then where we need to go and download this one, right? So that option we can go and put right here. So what we do, right? We can say we will read from /oracle. So here we can just give as of now, or these are all right optional. So this we can give here /temporary directory, right? Like that. Okay, we wanted to put into the temporary location. If you said while downloading, right, we can go and perform some operations, right? We can unzip. Suppose if it is zip file, right, we can do the unzip file. We can do encryption, decryption. So all those things it is possible here. So we can say /temp and finish. Major endpoint changes, apply. So we can go to the mapper first and create. So in the download request, right, what all things we have, right? We will have the file name, then directory and download directory, right? So we can say that, okay, which file we wanted to write. So it will come from the source directory source file we wanted to download, and we already have put the download directory, right? That okay, in this location it will be available, right? We can go and do the validate, right? Or maybe target directory we can go and use for the download purpose and validate. Now let us come back here and save. Now we can come to this mapper part, and in the response wrapper, right, what we will have, right? Download file, download response, ICS file, right? So if you see right here, what we will have, right? Once we download, right, what it is going to contain, right? It will go and contain the file, right, with us, right? If you see right, what it all information it is having, right? It is having the file information, right? So what we do, right? We can say that okay, and delete mapping, right? So we don't need the status, or maybe in the status, right? So status is a boolean, so we cannot put. So we'll say that okay, validate here, right? We can remove. Now what we have done, right? We have downloaded that file right here. We are getting the file from here and we are downloading, right? So with this file, right, what we can go and do, right? What operations we can go and perform, right? So one is like the simple thing is like we download the file and we will send that file over the email, right? So suppose if you have to share whatever the file is there into that FTP location, right? Take that file and share over email or something, right? So what we do, right? We can come here, we'll use the notification and we'll say that okay, can we send that file right here? So we can come here. Right, so this is what we have. Right, so here we wanted to right, so we wanted to send the email to this one, right? Fasttrainer12 cloud chain, right? So we have put this one, then from we can go and put here. And subject we can say file from FTP, right? It means like we are getting the file from the FTP location, right? That we can go and put the body. So in the body we can say that okay, hi team PFA the file. Thanks YC team. Right? Now what is the next one, right? If we have any parameters, right, we can go and put here, right? So this we already have seen how we can go and add the parameters, right? So if you see, right, if you have to put any attachment, right? So if you see, we have the attachment section, right? So we can go and click into this one. So in the attachment, right, what we need to do in the attachment, it is going to be the file references, right? So files we need to put, right? So already we have that file from this one, right? FTP file, file response, ICS file, ICS files. So if you see, right, we have the file reference, right? So what we do, right, we can go and put that here, right? So what is happening, right? The file reference we will go and put here. Now we can go and save. So what will happen, right? Along with this one, right, the reference will go, right? Now we can go and run this one. So we can say that activate and activate. We can go and do the run. What we need to do, right? We can come to the folder structure and this test.csv we wanted to send, right? So we can go and copy the path. So path is going to be the source directory. Then what is the source file, right? It is a test.csv, right? Then target directory also we can go and give, and we can see that, okay, is any file will also come here or not, right? So first we can go to the target and we can check, do we have any file with that one? Refresh. So we have, right? So what we do, right? We can go and delete these ones. Yes. So our target directory is empty, right? So now let us go and run this one. So message is got completed, right? It means our integration got completed. Now we can go and see the email right here. So if you see, right, we got email, right? File from FTP. If I will come here, right? See, hi team, PFA there. Message we got, and then if you see it, test.csv, right? And if I will go and open, right? It means like we are getting the file, right? If you see, right, the file which we are able to get, right? We are getting the file, right? It means it is working, right? We are able to get the file, right? So this is how we can go and use the download operation, right? So it means like we can take the file from the FTP, and then if we have to do any activity with that one, right? Like, right? So that time, right, we can go and take the file and we can go and share, right? Now we can go and check the download directory. So if you say, right, here it is nothing coming right here. It means the download directory we are giving, right, the target, right? So that we just have to give any path so that, okay, runtime only that path will be there, right? But for that one, right, it will not go and do any activity, right? So this is how we can go and do the download operation, right? Now we'll say that, okay, suppose this file, right, here we have done the, we are sending that file out over email, right? But suppose if you have to read the content of the file, right? So what we can go and do, right? So we'll go and see that one. So we can come back here, and what we do, right, we can make a clone and we can say read a file, right? So we wanted to read that file, right? Whatever the content is there into this file, right? So we wanted to, so I can go and put here clone. We can come back into this one, right? So now we don't need to have this notification, right? So what we do, right, we can go and delete this one notification as we don't need. So we can remove the notification. Now what is happening, right? As of now, right, we are sending, we are reading the, we are downloading the file, right? Now we have the file right here. At this point, right, we have the file with us, right? Now we, what we do, right, we wanted to read that file, but how we can go and read the file, right? Because we don't have anything read operation or anything, right? So for that reason, right, what we do, right, let us go and first see this operation, right, directly. Here we have the reader, right? So read a file. So we will give the input directory and we will give the file name, right? We can say continue. Then if you say, right, we wanted to specify right here that, okay, do you want to specify the structure, right? Because we wanted to read, right? So what will happen, right? Here we have to go and give that one right here, that, okay, this is a file I am trying to read, right? So we can come here and we can say, yes, we know the structure of the file, right? So if you say that, okay, we don't have the structure, right? So what will happen, right? It will go and it will give you the reference of that file, right? If we say that, okay, if we have the structure, right, then it will go and show the content, right? So two things are there, right? With a structure, without a structure, right? So if you know, right, how your file looks like, right? So what you do, right, we can go and use this option. So first we'll say that, okay, yes, I know the file, right? Then, okay, what type of file it is, right? So we can go and give that, whatever the type of the file it is, right? So we can go and give that option, right? So it is a CSV file. We can say continue. Now what we need to do, right? Here we have to specify the file, right? That, okay, what is that file, right? So we have that file, right? So this is that file what we have, right? So we can go and upload that file here, test.csv, right? Now if you see, right, two things are there, right? Record name and record set name, right? So what it is, it is, right? So record name is like in this table, right? Now if you have, right, we will have multiple records, right? Multiple rows will be there, right? One row, two, three. Let me just go and open that file also, right? So we have here, right, multiple records we have, and then what we have, right? One record. Yeah. So record name is nothing but the complete data, right? It will go and put into one, right? So for example, right, I will say here, like all employees, right? That okay, this we have all employees record, and within that one, right, we will have employee, right? So record name is like this whole data, right? And record set is like this one. Let us give any name as of now, right? Once in the UI, right, in the output it will come, right? That time I will go and show what is the meaning of this record name and record set name, right? Now you can come down. We can say that okay, we have a comma separated file, end of the line, right? So if you set whatever the columns, right, it will come into this one, right? So if you say this is how that output looks like, right? So we can say all the columns are optional, and one column we can go and make a mandatory, right? So name we can say that okay, mandatory. Now what we do, right, we can say continue and finish. So major endpoint changes, we can say yes. So we can come here. Now we can go and add the mapper. Mapper FTP operation, we can say create. So if you see, right, what we need to do, right, we need to give the file name and directory, right? So we can give the source directory, and we can give the source file name, right? Validate.
Sorry to disturb, Prashant. My question was we made one column mandatory, right? So which one
Yes, one,
the data we made?
yeah, yeah. So that you have to put up based on your data. So in your data, right, if suppose any key is like any row column is like as a primary key kind of thing, right? So you can go and make that as a mandatory.
In the file only or in the OIC?
No, in the file, because
Okay,
file columns only we are making mandatory, right? If
okay.
you see, right,
So we selected in
in
OIC the
my
one which
file,
has
right, two columns are there, right? Name and
yeah.
job, right?
Okay,
So whatever the file you will do, right? So based on that only it will come that okay, out of these columns, right, which is a mandatory column, right?
okay, in the file only. Okay, okay. Yeah.
Now we can say validate, and we can come back again here. Now we can go and do the save, right? Now suppose if I will come to the mapper, right? What it will come right here. If you see from the FTP operation, right? Read response will come, file read response. Then if you see right here, employees and all employees. So if you see right, whatever the name we have given, right? So that will come here, right? So record set is like this employee and then the all employees, right? So it means like one, it's kind of a complete data, what name you wanted to give. And then, right, these are the one by one records it will come, right? So it is kind of a array, right? So what you wanted to give right here. So that's what we have, right? So record name will come here and record set will come here and the record name will come here, right? So this is what we have. Now if you see, right, we have the name and job, right? Now suppose if you wanted to print this message, right, like this one, right? So we need to modify our output right here. So what we do, right, we can come here. We can come to the mapper. We can say continue, continue, and then we can come to the response part, right? And here what we do, right, along with this one, right, we wanted to show the employees, right? So we can say all employees, and it is going to be array, right? Because it will contain multiple, right? So we can say it is a array, and in that one, right, we can put one single object. So okay, how that what all array it will contain, right? We can say employee name, and the second what it is, right? So job, right? So we can say employee job, right? So this is what we will have right here. We can say continue, continue, and finish. Now we can come back to our mapper part. So if we said, now our new object also came, right? Employees. So we can come here, file response, employees, all employees. Now we can map name to the employee name, right? And job with the job. And then this parent we can go and map with the parent because it is a array, right? So now we can put validate, and now we can go and test it out that okay how it will go and look like. So we can come here, save, and now just go back and test it out like how it will come. Now let us come here and run. Come to the body. So this is our source directory, and we wanted to read the test.csv file, right? Now we can say run. If you see right here, whatever the content of the file, right, I am able to read here, right? If you see, all the records, right, are coming here. So whatever the data was there into this file, right? So that data, right, it is coming here, right? So for example, right, I will go and put same data again, right? And I will go and upload this file, right? Not target in the source path. For example, right? Let me put only one record or two record only as of now, right? We can save. So we have updated. Now this time if I will go and run, right? So previously if we said we are having this many records, right? Now if I will go and run, right, we will not get on these many records. Only two records will come, right? So it means we are able to read the file, right? Whatever the file it is, right? So that file we are able to read, right? So this is what we have like when we wanted to read the file with structure, right? It means we know the structure of the file, right? Now what will come in the without the structure, right? Because here, right, we know that okay how the file will look like, right? But when we don't know, right, how the file will not look like, right? So that time, right, what we can go and do, right?
Uh, my other
In this
question
also,
is,
right?
uh,
Yeah, please.
yeah, if you will win a CP, right? So when we will do this practice on OIC and all, so that time we will also need win a CP access, right?
Right. So you have the access, right?
Uh,
You just have to download the WinSFP, and I think
okay.
credentials we already have shared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So these are the credentials you have.
For win a CP,
Yeah, WinSFP only.
this one.
WinSFP is like software, right? So that you can go and download. And if you said
Okay.
this information only I am also putting.
Okay. Okay.
If I
Current
suppose I will
for practice purpose.
new site, right? So if you see it here, I am putting the same information,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I get it now.
right?
Yeah.
So
Okay,
you can go and put, and then you can just log in here.
sure. Thank you.
Now, one thing we have to remember when the file is like bigger size, right? So for example, let me just deactivate this one. API operation, right? So if you see it, the maximum allowed size for the file is 100 MB. If you need to read larger file than 100 MB, right? Please use download operation, right? It means like if it is a smaller, less than 100 MB, right? Then only we can go and read. Suppose if your file is bigger, right? That is more than 100 MB, right? Then what will happen, right? If you do try to read, right? What will happen, right? It will go and give the error, right? It means we cannot go and read that file more than 100 MB. In the generation 2, right? This limit was 10 MB only. But now in the generation 3, right? This limit got increased to 100 MB, right? It means in one go, you can go and read the file up to 100 MB. But if the file size is greater than 100 MB, right? And if you wanted to read that operation, right? We cannot go and do that, all right? So whatever that read operation we are doing, right? Same thing we can go and do with the help of download also, right? That means first we can go and download and then we can go and read that one, right? So we'll see that one. So in this operation, right? We have already downloaded the file, right? So what we'll do, right? We'll go and use this option only. We'll make a clone. We can say download and read. And we'll say 34. And this is our 21 and clone, right? So if it is a less than 100 MB, right, directly we can go and perform the read operation. But if it is greater than 100 MB, right, so that time, right, we cannot go and do the direct option, right? So I will just go and remove this notification, right? So what will happen, right? We are able to download the file here, right? Now we wanted to read that file, right? So how we can go and read that file, right? Downloaded file, right? So for that purpose, right? So if you see it, if you have some variable, right? If you have some value, right? What we do, right? We can create a variable for that one, right? Same thing for the file also, right? We have the file variables in the OIC, right? So what we can do right here, if you see right here, we will have this stage file, right? So what is this stage file, right? If you see right, process files and in integration, the stage file can process each file downloaded by the FTP adapter, right? It means whatever the file you have downloaded, right? So that if you wanted to do some activity on the top of that one, right? So we can go and do that one, right? So we already have downloaded that one, right? Now we wanted to read that file, right? So we can go and do. So stage file is nothing but like you can consider that as a FTP only. Whatever operations you are doing into the FTP, right? Same operations you can go and do the in the stage also, right? So you can consider this stage as a FTP only, but it is kind of a runtime only, right? It means with the help of that one, right? If you wanted to do any activity in the file, right? Like read the file, write file, anything you wanted to do, right? So you wanted to play with the file, right? So with the help of stage file, right? We can go and put, right? So as the name suggests, right, stage, right, it means the actual file we got, then we will go and put into the staging, and then we can go and do the operation on top of that one, right? So what we do, right, here we can go and do the stage. So we'll use the stage file, right? So when we do the stage file, right, what we do, right, we can give the name here. So we can say read stage file, right? It means we wanted to read the staging of the file, right? Now we can say continue. Now if you see, right, what we need to do right here. So two things are there, right? Like if you see it, operation, right? Read complete file, read file in the segment, right? Write file, zip, unzip, encrypt, decrypt, right? And list files, right? It means like how we have the FTP operation, right? Same thing kind of thing we have, right? So we wanted to read the complete file, right? We can say we wanted to read the file, right? Now if you see, right, configure the file reference. So from this step, previous step, right, do we have the file reference or what, right? So we can say, yes, we have the file reference, right? So we can go and put the file reference itself. If we don't have, right, what we do, right, we can go and give the name, right? That, okay, read from this directory and this one, right? So if you have down, like we have put the download, right? Then what we have to do, right? We have to give the exact file name here and we have to do this, right? But here we already have the file reference, right? So what we do, right? We can say that, okay, we'll specify the file reference only. So we can go to the here and where we have the file reference, right? If you see, we have downloaded the file, right? If you come to the file reference, right? ICS files. So if you see it, this is the file reference what we have, right? So we can go and use this one, right? Now what we say, we can say continue. Now here we can go and provide the structure, right? That, okay, how our file look like. So again, it is a CSV, right? If you see, this step is same. We can say continue. Now what we do, right? We can go and put that file back here. So this is that file what we have, right? We need. So we can just drag and drop that file here. Then we can say record name and record set name. So record name is going to be the employee and record set, right? It's like all employees, right? All employees, right? It is file is going to be the comma separated. This is the character set which we accept, right? Character set optionally terminated by end of the line. Then all the columns will come, right? So if you see right here, the first column, right? I missed one thing that with the first column, right? You wanted to treat as a header, right? So we can go and use that as a header. Suppose if you see right, this is not a header, right? This is also the data itself, right? So what you do, right? You can go and remove this one. So in that case, right, what will happen? It will go and create its own header C1, C2, but this name and job, right, will be treated as a data itself, right? So based on your file, right, you can say whether your file will contain the header or not. If it contains the header, right, so we can go and use this one. If it doesn't contain the header, right, we can go and remove. So what will happen, right? The custom headers will come. And if you wanted to change these names, right, you can go and modify the names here also, right? So we can say it is the column header only first rows, then optional, right? So what we do, right, we can make all columns optional, then at least one column we have to make mandatory, right? Suppose if I will not do, right, and if I will do the continue, right, what will happen, right? I will get error. Please select one or more elements as mandatory, right? So what it means, right, at least one column should be mandatory, right? Why? Because if you upload a blank file, right, then there is no point of putting that file here, right? So due to that reason, right, we are saying valid file will come, right? So in that one, right, at least this column will come, right? So we can say that, okay, name is going to be our mandatory column, right? Now we can say continue and finish. So what is happening right now? The stage operation came here, right? In between, right? That, okay, we are reading the file, right? So what we are doing first, we are downloading the file. Then we are putting that file into the staging. And with the help of staging, right, we are reading that file, right? Now, if you come to this mapper, right, what will happen, right? The output, right? If you say read file response, right? So here we will get the same response. If you said this is the same response which was coming from FTP read operation, right? So same operation will come, right? So it means like whatever the file we have, right? So with the help of stage activity, right, we are able to read that one, right? Now let me just go back. We can go and modify our response so that, okay, we can go and print here. We'll write quickly. All employee. It is an array. Then it will contain employee name, employee job, right? We can say continue and continue and finish. Save. Now what we do, right? From the stage file, whatever we are doing, right? So we can go and read the response. So here we have all the information. Now from FTP, right, we will have the file reference. So we cannot go and directly do that, right? So we have the stage, right? So the output will be available into the read file response. So we can say name to the name, yeah, job to job, and we will map the parent to parent and validate, right? So there are two different ways of reading the file, right? One is like we can go and directly do the read operation, or the second is like we can download the file and then with the help of stage activity, right, we can go and read that one, right? Now let us go and see. Activate. We can go and run that again. So source directory. So we can go to the FTP location, copy path, test CSV, right? We can go and click into run. So if you see, right, we are able to read the file, right? It means this way it is also possible, right? If I will go and show the response, right? So if you see, we are doing here, and if you see, right, invoke response, right? And from this one, right, it is the download we are doing, right? So if you say it, in the file reference, right, the location will be available, right? That okay, we have downloaded that file, right? So here it will contain the file reference, right? It means it will go and store the location that okay, the file got downloaded here, right? All the informations will be able to see that okay, what is the file name and all. And then right, what we do right here, after that one, right, we are doing the stage activity, right? So with the help of stage activity, right, we are able to read that one, right? So this is how we can go and do the larger files, right? When it will be about larger files. So first we have to download and then we have to go and read that file, right? So this is the second what we have is like reading the larger files. Now in the read file only, right? One is like with structure, one is without structure, right? So we'll say without structure, right? So we can come to this one. What will come into the read file? I can say without. Yeah. And clone. We can come back again here. So we are doing that FTP operation here, right? We can say continue, continue. So we are doing the read file, right? Continue. So we told that, okay, do you want to specify the structure, right? So we can say yes. When we say that, okay, we don't want it to specify the structure, right? So we can say no, right? We can say continue and finish, right? So now what will happen, right? We have told that, okay, we will not specify the structure, right? So what activity will happen right now? We can come here. And if you see, right, the output from this one, right? What is the output it will contain, right? It will contain the file reference. If you see, it came the ICS file. It means it will not come the content of the file, right? It will come the reference of the file, right? Because we don't know the structure of the file, right? So now when we can go and use that with a structure and without a structure, right? So that is completely up to the requirement, right? So suppose when you wanted to do the activity, right? Like read the file and then write the file same time, right? In between, if you wanted to read that file, right? So that time we need to know the structure, right? Because without a structure, right, we cannot go and read that file, right? If suppose we just need the reference, right? Now suppose we have read the file, right? So what will happen, right? It is kind of a download operation only, right? It means like it is downloading the file and it is having the reference, right? Now suppose if you wanted to read this one, right? So on top of this one, right, we have to go and write that, yeah, either we can go and do the stage activity like what we did for the download, right? Same way we can go and do here also. Or what is the next way, right? Next way is like we can go and send this one, right? Because once it has have the file reference, right? We cannot read, right? What we can do, right? Either we can go and write this at somewhere at some other location, or what we do, right? We can go and share over the email and all, right? So only those kind of operations we can go and do when we read the file without a structure, right? It means it's kind of a download operation only. If you ask me from higher level, right? So it is nothing but the download operation only, right? It means you have downloaded the file here, right? File reference. Because whether you do the download, right, or whether you will read the file without a structure, right, it is the same thing, right? It means you have the file in the download also, right? You will have the file in the read file without a structure also, right? You will have the file. Now, what is the next step you wanted to do with that one, right? So that is up to you, right? So that is what we can do with the without structure, right? In this case, right, what will happen, right? It will be the reference only, right? So it means like after this one, right, what we do, right? We can go and send over email, right? So we'll come here. First, we can go and remove this one that, okay, we don't have the employees here, right? So we can go and delete the target node and validate. We can go and do the save. Now what we do right here in this, before to this one, right, we can send the notification, right? We can say notification. and we can put from subject. We can say read file without structure, right? And in the body, we can go and put here hi team PFA the file from FTP. Thanks OIC team. Now what we do, right? We can go and put the attachment, right? Because from the read operation, right? What we will do, right? We'll get that FTP operation. We'll get the file reference only, right? Because we will have the file with us, right? We will not have the actual content. So we can say file reference. Now we can go and do the save. Now let us go and run this one, right? We can say activate and activate. Refresh. Now we can go and run the file. In the source directory, we can go and put the path, and it is a test.csv. Now we can go and run the file. So, file got completed 200. Okay. Now let us go and see the mail, right? So if you see read file without structure, right? And if you see it, we are able to get the file, right? So if you see, we got the file, right? So this is how we can go and write the file with us, right? So it means like if you do with structure, right? It means you will able to know the content, right? You can go and read the content within the voice if you wanted to, right? When you don't know the structure, right? So that time you cannot go and read the file, but yes, you can go and share. You can move file from one location to another location, right? So why we need to have these two different, right? So when you wanted to read the data, right? So that time we can go with the structure. Sometimes the requirement can be right that, okay, we wanted to write that file at some other location, right? So that time, right, what we do, right? We can go without a structure, right? That, okay, we don't worry about the structure, just read the file and then write the file at some other location, right? So that time we can go and use read file without structure. So any questions into this one, if anyone has? Any questions, anyone? So any question into the read file with a structure, without a structure? Then we see how we can go and download and then we can go and read, right? So when we download and then if you wanted in the voice, right? If you wanted to do some activity, right? So that time, right, what we do, right? We can go and use a staging operation, right? So if anyone has any questions, we can go and take those questions. Otherwise for today, right, we can go and wrap up the session here only. And then tomorrow, right, we will see how we can go and write the file, right? So sometimes, right, the requirement can come, right? That, okay, we have to create a new file. So either it can be file from file or file from data, right? So file from file, right? It means like we can read the file without structure, then we can write the file, right? But when it is a some content, if you put, right, then what will happen, right? In that case, right, we will prepare the file. So we'll see that tomorrow. So any questions, we can go and take those questions. Otherwise, we'll just wrap up the session here only. Any questions? Okay, so if no question, then I think we can go and wrap up the session. Thank you all. And please start doing that hands-on if you have not started. Thank you all.